Confessions of a CEO, Season 1, Grand Rising. Chapter 3, Down to Business. After the email exchange, Rick and I immediately got to work, forming the company structure and goals. We deemed the task of building a robot far too large to start with, so Rick suggested building a mobile app containing Nate's core functions, which is what we set about doing. Once this was finished, we'd go to investors. Centered around this, Rick and I constructed our business plan, which was finished in 2 months. It has been 3 years since the business plan was created, and now here we are, a legalized LLC, with a full-stack robotics team ready to execute it. As I like to say, let's get down to business. January 2nd, 2023. I said I'd talk about how my team and I got to where we are now, so here we go. Ready? 2 words, social media. I found them all on the internet, with the exception of Caden, who lives down the hall from me. It took quite some time to network enough to bring on teammates. Months and months. During these grueling months, it was easy to lose hope, as money makes the world go round, and well, we have none. Most of the people I talked to wanted money without work. They couldn't get past the fact that in order to get where we wanted to be, some amount of insanely difficult work needed to be put in to make it happen. Ugh! Didn't they see? It's not called a startup for nothing. More months and more searching online continued until I managed to pull together a team of those I needed to launch the startup. So far, there are 5 of us. Myself, Rick, Caden, Ruben, and Elliot. Caden is new. Just last week, I recruited him for my second, or right-hand man, in the robotics department. Caden was my first in-person hire. Very exciting. You're probably curious as to what everyone does, so here. Mariana, myself, CEO, Chief of Robotics. Rick, CFO. Elliot, CTO. Caden, Graphics and Design. Ruben, VP, Head of AI Engineering and Development. Oh, my food is almost done cooking. Talk to you later. March 7th, 2023. Wow, it has been a minute. Apologies. I do have wonderful news, though. We have a new and improved vision towards our launch. Before I elaborate, allow me to provide some background. Roughly a year ago, we had someone named Ruben join our team. Ruben joined the team as an AI engineer. Things were off to a great start. He was working on creating virtual avatars of the mobile application under development, until one day, disaster struck. Ruben had a house fire in the summer of 2022 and lost close to everything. Up to this point, we had a plan to create an Android mobile application which would contain the core AI of Nate: object recognition, food detection, barcode scanning, and natural language processing. Supplementing this would be meal and nutrition tracking and recording with a goals section. This plan was our roadmap to success for 2.5 years, but times change, and sometimes it takes drastic measures to keep up. February of 2023, our plan changed. At this point, Ruben had been on hiatus since the fire, and production was slow. Elliot had been flying solo in terms of development, and the demands of the project were far too great for a solo individual. We all knew that investors needed a tangible proof of concept, and we just didn't have it. Despite our efforts, we were missing self-set deadline after self-set deadline, and things were looking pretty grim. It was time for a change, a big change. Feeling down in the dumps, I shut my laptop and went outside to get some air. March 11th, 2023. I got pulled from my writing due to travel. I'm currently in Costa Rica doing self-directed research for Nate Health. Anyways, where was I? Ah, yes, a big change. The evening I went out for some air, the new plan came to me. Details and all came to my mind as effortlessly as a leaf blowing in the wind. Backwards! We have to work backwards! Turning in my tracks, I raced home and pounded on my teammate Caden's door. His door opened and I was greeted with confusion. His eyes met mine and his expression changed to one of wonder. Mar? Caden, I got it. We need to work backwards. What? Usually, one walks before they run. But in this case, we need to run a marathon before we hike Mount Marcy. So, we need to run a marathon? I nodded. Caden smiled. To put it simply, my backwards plan was this. Rather than use the mobile app to prove concept, we build a prototype of Nate ourselves and put his core AI into it, personality and all. A swirl of markers and flipping of paper brought the plan into draft form 3 days later. After a primitive draft was formed, I picked up my cell and dialed Rick, who always answers on the first ring. Hello? Rick, I've got it. I found our solution to launching this LLC. Let's hear it. 40 minutes later, I pocketed my phone, grinning from ear to ear. Our new plan was a go. Later that evening, I pinged Elliot, our developer in India, and excitedly described our new approach to getting off the ground. I thought Elliot would find the abrupt change in direction daunting and derailing, but to my pleasant surprise, found it stress-relieving. Since the immense load of full-stack coding had been piled on his plate, the dedicated developer, over time, began sinking beneath its weight. Although he never let on, each meeting, we could see his wary eyes. Excited and inspired, Elliot said he'd begin at once, and proposed a completion timeframe of April 2023. When I began this undertaking in 2018, I not once imagined forming an LLC with a full-stack robotics team, an executive board. Now, here we are, 5 years later, and we are ready to launch. Elliot setting a completion date was fantastic, but believe it or not, it gets better, so buckle up, and maybe snack some wine and popcorn. Up to this point, I have written the past 5 years in just several small pages. Finally, I am all caught up. The current date remains March 11th, 2023, but now, everything I write will be present time. Sorry if that confuses you. Now that I'm all caught up, I guess I should exit journal format and begin writing in chapters. Journaling is fun, but things are getting serious. So here we go. For your own sake, consider my entries, until now, a prelude